it's Sharon here. Welcome back to my channel for those who are returning, and welcome to any new subscribers that may be visiting for the first time. I'm going to continue with our Christmas altered book, and I've just been going through some things to find a couple of ideas. I love this page, but I don't feel like it's finished, so I am going to... I will just check that you're in camera okay. Sorry about that. Just going to clip that down. So I've decided that, oh, excuse me, I've decided that I'd like to add a little bit of trim across. I'm trying to get this open and I'm failing. So I'm going to, whoops. And these are ribbons that I got from my local Spotlight. They were on sale, and I really love them. I love the natural look of them. They're almost a calico, so you know that speaks to me. I actually really love that across there. I wasn't sure if I wanted something more neutral or whether I would like the red, but I actually really like that red, so I'm going to go with that. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, and I'm going to I'm going to see if I can use my fabric glue. I don't know how this will go. I'm like, maybe if I just get it on there, then it'll stop coming out so quickly, or I'll give it a purpose anyway. I even just opened the lid to it to see if I could release some of the pressure, but clearly that hasn't helped either. Okay, hoping that will be enough. Nor have I got it upside down anymore because I thought that might help. I'm trying everything, guys, every trick in the book. Okay, whoops. And I would just like to see if I can get a little piece of that. I really like the distressing on the edge, so I just want a little bit of that to peep through. Okay. Oh, and I have these paper clipped down just to hold my page down while it dried. Might just use my art glitter glue just for the very corner where it's missed. And I will check up here as well. There are probably 1,000 other things I should be doing right now, but crafting is what was calling out to me the loudest. I just want to play. I'm loving this book. I really am. It is more cumbersome to work with a book this size, I'm noticing. Every time I go, it's quite heavy, so every time I go to lift it, I'm finding it difficult to, or sorry, I'm going to lift it or trying to lift it one-handed, and it's just not a happening thing. So but I love it. Okay, that makes me happier. And then on this side, I'm thinking I might create a pocket, and I'm thinking I might use my packaging paper just to bring that natural brown tone in. Okay, so I might, how big do I want it? I'm thinking about 3 inches across. I'm thinking about using one of these images on the front, so I just want to check the size. So they're about, they're 2 15/16. No, that's not right. 2 13/16 by the look of that. So I'm just wondering if I make it 3, how much will be showing, or do I make it 3 1/8, maybe 3 1/4. I think I'm going to go 3 1/4, and that way I'll have a nice amount of brown around the outside, which is what I'm kind of after. 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, I'm thinking. So we'll see how this goes. We need to just tidy up this end. So 3, I'm trying to remember what I said, 3 1/4 by, pop that away. I actually like that perforated edge. Well, either or. I think it was 4 1/2, so I'm going with 4 1/2. I like it. So I'm just going to distress that. So I hope you're all fabulous. I have been busy trying to prepare for Christmas. I've been busy trying to edit videos to upload for you all. Lots going on. It's the silly season. So now I was trying to decide whether I liked my little, I think I want something different. I'm actually steering towards this one, so I think I will tear that. And this is from the Winter in Victoria collection, I think it is. I just love this collection. I don't think there are any AntiquePaperie papers that I don't like, to be fair. And remembering that I printed these on paper, this is part of the reason I decided to do that, because I had them on the matte photo paper. The matte photo paper is very thick, and I was worried about having too much bulk in my book. And I had a little think about how I thought I may like to use these smaller images. And I decided that using them as focal points for pockets and things would be fabulous. And by using paper images rather than the matte photo paper, I had the ability then to have a backing paper to use. And this isn't, although it's thick, it's not quite as thick as the matte photo paper. So that was why I've done it like that. I don't know whether by the time I adhere the layers all together, whether it will end up being as thick as the matte photo paper or not, but I kind of feel like it won't be. My other option is to use one less layer of the packaging paper, so have 2 layers instead of 3, and then this would be my third. Another option for backing paper is book pages or music paper, which I may do yet. I felt like it gave me more variety and more options to do it that way, rather than just using these as the pocket themselves. I liked the idea of being able to give it a bit of a border. Makes it stand out more. Sorry, I'm looking for my glue stick. Can't see for looking. And I love that, as I've mentioned before, I really love the natural tones or elements or look. So the brown paper, I feel like the same with the calico, it just adds an element of that natural tone. I don't even know how to explain myself right now. Like, am I making any sense? I don't know if I'm making sense or not. I know what I'm thinking. I just don't know how to verbalize it. Okay. So how will that look? Oh, perfect. I love it. And the natural, that brown color ties in with the ribbon. I lost my words. Ties in with that natural, almost calico look of the ribbon. So I love that. I feel like it's more balanced now, and I feel like it's working together. I also love the fact that this image has the blue, which brings in the blue from the other side. So I'm just going to, oops, my glue is not quite coming down. Here we go. Just going to adhere that to come right up to the very top. I'm thinking about there. Perfect. Okay, I'm much happier with that page. I feel like it's finished properly now. So just walking you through what we've done. We have our first, oh my gosh, I still love them. So beautiful. Oh yes, I feel like it's coming together now. As I said, I loved this page before, but now I just feel like it has the finishing touches. Fun. Okay, now this page here, I'm thinking I may leave just as is, or will I add pockets? I think I might add a pocket. So I'm going to tear out 10. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I think I would like to make this, how deep, I'm thinking about there. I'm just looking at what I have if you remember when we did our last page, we had coloured pictures. So I'm just looking and I'm wondering if I'd like to, because this has all text, I think I'm going to tear that one out as well. And I think I'd like it about there. Like, I'm not quite sure that was straight. Fabulous. And then I'm going to do the same here. So what I might do is I might use this one as a guide. And it would be helpful if I could see my own crease mark. So that's pretty good. And then I'm going to, so we've got our last page, the back of our last page. We've taken out, well, we've actually taken out 10 or 11 to give us our pocket page. And then the next page we've folded for the pocket on the other side. And then I'm going to take out 10 from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we have a picture here. We have lots of pictures. I might take out the next few pages as well until we get to just the blank text, which is that page there. So in actual fact we took out an extra 4 with that one, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to ink these up before I forget. This ink is so juicy, I'm really loving it. It's very rewarding to have a new ink pad. Well, it is for me anyway. And I think I will add just a touch on the underside. You don't have to, I just don't want any white bits showing, so oops. And I'm just, there is a slight shine to this paper. I don't know if you've noticed, and that was part of the reason I was a little bit worried about using the encyclopedia for my altered book. I wasn't sure whether that slight shine would stop the paper from accepting the blue or make it difficult to, yes, to basically stick things down. But it seems to be handling it quite well. Which is fabulous because I have a whole set of these books and I feel like this is a really fun way to use them. And it's turning out to be gorgeous. Okay, so I have no idea what I want to use for this page. Just quickly clip this, well, as quickly as I can, clip this down. Okay. So these papers are the AntiquePaperie Holiday Chic. I'm not actually sure that I shared these in my previous video. But I've printed them 2 to a page as well as full size, and I love the circular focal point, and I'm thinking that if I cut out the center it may just be perfect. Oh, I actually really love those two. Oh, that's really pretty too. It's a fun family there. I think I like those two together. Okay, let's do it. Ironically, when I picked that up, I was thinking I would use this smaller image, so you just never know. Okay, so I'm hoping, I just want to measure how wide my pocket is. Not quite 4, so it's about 3 3¾ roughly. Oh yes, so that'll be beautiful. Yay! Okay, let's do this. Oops, every time. I have actually figured out why it's slipping sometimes. I haven't shared with all of you yet because I keep forgetting, but sometimes when I start to tear, I try and just tear. So I place my ruler right where that white edge stops, which I'll see if I can zoom in on this for you. It doesn't quite become the length of the red marks on my ruler. If I move that across to the red marks, so right where those red marks are, I find it doesn't slip. But in between sessions, I forget. So now I said 3 3/4, didn't I? I just need to work out. I think I might leave myself a little pencil mark. Oh, now I won't be able to see that. Okay, and because I want to make it straight, so it's not quite 2 inches in. So roughly there. And from here, not quite 5 3/4. Oh golly, where did I put my mark? There. So 5 3/4. I hope I've got that right. No going back now. I do want to check though and see how that measures up. That's pretty good. I could have gone a little bit wider, but that's okay. I'm happy with that. And I will check it against here. I might go wider for this one, I think. I might just do a little strip of the brown paper, perhaps, if I can find a sheet. And I need to work out, I like this here. So I might bring my edge as close to that as possible. And then just like if I'm going to add a piece of paper underneath, I would like a little bit of it to show. So I think I might use that line there as my guide. Okay, and I'm like, do I want brown paper or do I want, I think I do want brown paper. I have this little piece of scrap here. It does have a tear in it, but most of it will be under. I might straighten that up. Believe it or not, guys, I have actually tried to make room on my desk, which I've done, but I filled it with more things. So mostly for this altered book, but nevertheless, I haven't, again, made life easy for myself. And this is just one sheet of the brown paper that I love, the packaging paper. So it's not terribly thick. I'm going to give myself a little pencil mark. The difficult part with this will be cutting it straight because it is wrinkled, or cutting it, sorry, tearing it straight because it's wrinkled. So I'm hoping about there is okay. I do need to be careful just here because that tear makes the paper, because it's thin, it makes it very delicate. I was trying to think of what the right word was. Okay, so that's not looking very straight at that end, so I'm going to go with this end. Okay. So I think I want it right over to the edge. and about there. I think that's straightish. Okay, I'm going to see if I can distress. I wasn't sure how it would take the ink being just one sheet, but it's taking it very well. Actually, I will distress this one. I'm not going to glue this one down yet because I will use this as a reference when I tear my... Oh, that's right. I wanted it a little bit wider, didn't I? Okay, so I'm going to be mindful to try and make sure that that glues down flat when I pop this on here. I'm just thinking, I think it goes around this way, or maybe it doesn't matter. I feel like that way is a little bit straighter down this edge, so I'm going to go that way. And my glue book. I just keep burying things. Okay. I'm swiping that down over that tear because that's the way the tear goes, or it goes with the tear, so it helps to keep it flattened. And I was editing video this morning and I did realise I didn't really give a proper intro into the creation of this book. I just hopped on the inspired by Gayle Agostinelli bandwagon and jumped right into this project. As I said, I sort of started it off camera, so I didn't really give an indication of how or why I chose my book, aside from it being a larger book. I sort of didn't really talk about it, so I did want to try and cover that with you a little bit. When you do an altered book, you kind of need to have a book with glued pages as opposed to sewn in pages. So it needs to have, well, that worked really well. I'm just looking at the tear and I was like, I wasn't even paying attention, and it's adhered really well. So yes, you need to have a spine that is glued and that is good and sturdy. So if I take this off, this, oops, dangly bits, this spine is sitting right up against the outside of the book. Sometimes you see spines, sorry, I should make sure that that's focused, my apologies. So it's sitting right up, this part here is sitting right up against the outside of the book. Sometimes you see books that are sewn and this little topper and the pages will be sitting out from the spine. I wouldn't necessarily consider using that for an altered book. Having them up against each other like that just provides a lot more sturdiness. And I mean, really, the spine is my major consideration when choosing a book to create an altered book like this. Size-wise, as I've mentioned, I have done this with smaller books. For example, a Reader's Digest size, which this is a Reader's Digest book, and you can see the size is very different. So I've made them this size, or, you know, a little bit bigger, maybe the 5.25 by about 7.5 or something like that. So this is the first time I've made a book this size, but that's kind of what you need to look out for. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Some people will choose a book for the cover that they may be able to alter a little bit. I haven't quite decided what I'm doing with the cover of this one yet. It's in pretty good condition. So I'm not sure whether I will just make a book plate for it or whether I will cover the whole thing. I haven't decided, but just a little bit of catching you up to speed, because I kind of feel like I didn't explain any of that properly. I'm sorry. I love that. Okay, so with this piece here, I'm going to try and match up. Actually, I can see through this because I have a light in front of me, so I can actually match up my circle. This is kind of cheating, isn't it, guys? No, it's using, but actually I'm going to tear the edges first. It's using available resources. It's like, hey, I can do that. I can match them. Okay, and I am remembering to have the ruler sitting against the bottom of those little red marks, and seriously, something as simple as that has made all the difference. I just wish that, you know, I wouldn't keep forgetting because I do, and then I end up with slipping. I think when I come back into my craft space after having an evening away, you really do forget the little things. And you kind of look at those white marks and you feel like they're a guide, but they're not really. It's just where the printer didn't match up. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I would like to measure I'm going to say about 4 1/16 roughly. I need to just do that with my clip. So I'm going to, I don't know if you can see where I'm I don't know if you can see where I can see through the paper, is what I was trying to say. I don't think this one will reach, a little bit. So 4 1/16. So about 2.5 on either side. My pencil. I might go down here. I'm looking for some negative space on the sheet. Whoops. My paper clipper's in the way. And I just shifted that. Okay, so that's a rough guide. Hoping this goes relatively straight again. If I can find my marks, there we go. I'm just like, I hope that mark that I'm lining it up with is actually the mark, because that could be awkward. I'll be like, I'm sorry guys, I have to turn the camera off and go and reprint this sheet. Okay, and I think that's, yes it is. Just like, where are my marks? Okay, and then I may do the same. I may cut the top at the very top and then work out my length. I need to go this way. I'm thinking about there. Whoops. Like, I haven't torn very straight on this side. Okay. Just like, this is not working. I'm trying to use the guides underneath here and I couldn't see them properly. They kept disappearing. I'm sorry about that. I kind of feel like it's straight, but may just that tiny piece. That's a bit better. I felt like it was competing with the page next to it for space. So just inking this all the way around. And I'm ready to attach these. How am I going for time? Oh, I'm not too bad. That surprised me actually. I say that I was feeling like I was almost done, but I haven't actually chosen my backing papers, so maybe it's not as good as I thought, but oh well. Real time, guys. I keep telling you, real time. Just trying to make it reasonably straight along that edge. Fun. Oh, I love that. And then this piece. Time to replace that, tidy up that glue book. To my next page, I need to remove this. And I need to work out my placement because I didn't do it before I added glue. I think that's about right. Oops. And as you see, my edge isn't quite straight, but that's okay. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so backing papers. So I have DigitalCurio grunge linen digital paper, and I like that. Sorry, you can't actually see. See if I can pin those down. The glue makes the pages curly, so I don't mind that green. Oh, that's quite pretty. I think I like that for there. I'm borderline with that one. I do quite like that too. Well, that's unusual. It's almost a rusty, bluey, greeny. Well, that's a little bit different. Let me have a look at that as a spread. I actually don't mind that. I think I'm going to go with those two. How fun and different. Not what I was expecting to choose, guys. Okay. So I do need to fix this glue book because it's a mess. Oops, wrong way around. Lining up my marks so that I don't slip. Okay, I slipped a little bit. The camera will make a liar out of you every time. That was better. So I'm sharing with you, I was just putting my scrap paper in my little bowl or a little box that I've made, and it reminded me of Rachel Ray. Have you ever watched Rachel Ray's cooking show where she has the scrap bowl? That's what it reminded me of. I was like, hey, I have a scrap bowl for crafters. Too funny. Okay. Like, how do I fix this? I mean, work this out. And I don't want the whole thing. So I'm going to say to about there. And then I will just use this one to measure up. I should check it on this side first. This book is quite heavy, guys, quite cumbersome. I feel really awkward picking it up and moving it, but I'm like, it's just how it is. Oh, I love that. Okay, so I just want to make sure that the size is right for this. It should be because the pockets are the same size, but you know, sometimes you never know. Yep, that should work. I feel like the queen of scrap paper at the moment, or bits. I think I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing for these journaling cards in here. I'm thinking some of them may end up being collage cards, and we can just use some of our scraps. And I can use this piece. And I might go that way because it's straighter. And that helped me take off that tiny little snippet which was not quite straight, so that was awesome. This way doesn't matter quite so much. Okay, so I'm going to ink these, and I only need to ink 3 sides. I was just checking to see how straight it is. I'm hoping this side is as straight as it looks. If it's not, I'll just ink the other side and turn it around. And the same with this one. I do need to be careful because, as you see, my pages aren't lining up. So I need to make sure that I'm actually at the top of the right page. Okay. I was just looking at the colours and I was thinking I love that they're not the traditional bright red and bright green, but they so work. I feel like the colours have that slightly more vintage feel to them, which, as you know, or you may not know, it's my thing, guys. I just love those vintage tones, and I think that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about this book, because it's really talking to me. All the papers that I'm using, they're just coming together so beautifully and sending me to my happy place. Oops, I need to shift that across. Love it. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. And whoops, this one. Oh, I haven't actually glued those down. I'll fix those in a moment. I'm just like, having a bigger book, it really does take more time because there's a lot more gluing. Oh dear. Sorry, I avalanched my encyclopedia papers that I've torn out. Just fell down. Probably will happen again. Yes, I don't really know if it's the gluing, but I just feel like it's taking longer all around. Okay, so gosh, I got that paper right to the very end at the bottom there. Never mind. Okay, and so I'm going to use my large scissors, and I'm just going to cut those pieces off. Just want a little piece in the fold. Just a little bit of an edge and a little bit of reinforcement. Okay, and I'm going to use, oops, all the curly pages. I'm going to use my glue book. And this side. Oops, I'm stuck. No, I'm not. Oh yes, so pretty. I will burnish those down. And we will get to gluing. Sorry, I don't even know if I'm in camera right now. It's a bit harder with a big book. And so closing the book as much as possible when I glue my pockets down to try and make the papers buckle less. It really does help. In case you've wondered why I've done that, because I'm not sure I've explained that, and that hasn't. Sorry. I do know that those papers had a little bit more shine on them, so it wasn't sealing up here. But it lines the papers up so much better if you close the book as much as you possibly can. So, see if I can bring you... I'm trying to give myself wiggle room for my glue bottle. So just a line of glue. You can use Fabri-Tac for this as well. I have done that in the past, not on the encyclopedia obviously, because this is my first time doing an encyclopedia, but when I've made an altered book before, that was what I used because that was what I had, and it worked fine. I do find that the art glitter glue dries that much quicker, and so with the fabric glue you do need to be careful that you don't pull your pages back up too quickly, because the glue can sometimes give way before it's dried properly. And I'm just burnishing those down. As I said, my pages have a little bit of shine, so I want to make sure that that's burnished. And there we have it. I love it. Now I'm wondering what do I want to add? I actually feel like well, maybe we could do that and have it pop out the top at the edge of our book. This is just some pretty vintage lace that I have. I like it. I do. I do know sometimes when I'm adding glue, especially in long sections, especially in long sections like this, my bangle, my bracelet gets stuck on objects, and I'll be moving my arm and then next minute my arm isn't moving but the glue's still coming out. It's very awkward. I'm trying to get as close to the edge of this as I can with my glue. Okay. Just trying to make sure it's relatively straight. It's not perfect, but I feel like that's pretty good. So I might burnish that down from behind. Whoops. Looks like I'll have to get that very top again with the glue. I think I wiped it off, actually. I think I bumped it with my glue bottle and wiped some of the glue off that top end. Oh, that's actually really pretty on that side as well. Okay, so let's just add a tiny bit more up here. I love it. I'm not going to do anything else to that side. And then, oh, look how fun that is looking with the lace at the edge. I love that. Okay. Still sending me to my happy place, guys. This side here, I feel like that isn't going to work so much. That might. I don't know. Let's have a look. I have just 4 of these ribbons. And I love them. Love, 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 love them. Just like, do I want the red? I don't hate it. Even though there's more pink in the paper. And I don't have red over there. Sometimes I wish you guys could talk to me and tell me yes or no. Let me have a look through the camera. I'm not 100% sure about that. I feel like that actually works better, but I've used it just on the previous page, so I'm not keen to do that. So what can I add there? Maybe I do have this curtain lace. It's not as long as the page though. I don't know. I don't love it. Could be because I think it's the wrong way around. I still don't love it, and I don't know whether it's because it's not the same length. I do have this roll here, this jelly roll of fabric. They're Christmas fabrics, but they're very reds, bright reds and greens, so I'm not sure that it's going to work, but let's just have a look and see what there is. Again, I chose this because it has the calico with the print, and it just really spoke to me as far as my aesthetic was concerned. Oh, isn't that pretty? So let me see. I just feel like that red is just and then we have the plain calico, just a little bit too bright for this page, which I was kind of thinking it would be, but you know, you don't know until you try. Okay. Okay, I have these fabric strips that I've made using calico and wool, and I'm wondering if just something as simple as that to jazz it up. I don't know, I like it, but I don't love it. Oh, I think I really like that. I think that's the winner. It brings in the pinks from the paper. Okay, so I'm going to cut that there. I think I might use Fabri-Tac to put this one down. I'm hoping it will look okay once the book is closed. It is a little bit bulkier, but I think it'll be quite pretty. So let's fight with the Fabri-Tac again. It's funny because some bottles barely do this, and then it's not actually Fabri-Tac, it's fabric glue. Sorry, we don't get Fabri-Tac in Australia. But I watch so many crafters who do get Fabri-Tac that's what I tend to call it, and it's not for any other reason than that's what I'm used to hearing. Okay. I'm just kind of spreading this out with my finger because it's gone on so thick, because it was running out of the bottle. And in case you haven't seen the video where I create or show you how I create these, I will link that video in the description below. I have done a video on where I've made some of these, not this particular one, but I have shown my technique. So if you'd call it a technique, I've shown you what I do. Oh, I really love that. I love how that brings... Do you know what's funny? Because it doesn't have to be over the top Christmas to work for a Christmas journal. And I mean, again, they're not traditional colours, although the paper pad or the paper digital from AntiquePaperie has definitely been instrumental in what I'm choosing for this. And I kind of love that it hasn't made me go for the more traditional bright greens and reds, that it's something different and beautiful and still very Christmassy. So okay, so there are 2 pages finished. I love them. I'm going to get a little bit of curl there until I do the other side of the page, but that's okay. Thank you so much for helping me and for join me while I create this altered book. I'm so in love with the way it's turning out. I love it. Oh, it's just added some tactile pieces to my journal, or my altered book, which I really love. So beautiful. I could just keep flicking and flicking and flicking through this book. I just love it so much. So please remember to give me a thumbs up, like this video if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so that you don't miss future videos, and always feel free to comment. I love to hear from you. I look forward to seeing you soon, everybody. Happy crafting. Bye for now.